Whenever I thought about American Express cards in the past, I always thought about fees. When I worked in a grocery store, I remember seeing customers to pay with their American Express cards, and I always chuckled to myself thinking, I can't believe that these people are paying a fee to have the privilege of using a card. And, well, look at me now. And I also remember thinking, what's the appeal of using a charge card that does nothing for your credit utilization ratio, which for me was important because I was trying to build up my credit score at that time. But once I started watching credit card YouTube, my perception completely changed and I realized how uninformed I really was. I began to learn that American Express cards can be extremely valuable if used correctly, learned a bit about how to squeeze value from their credit cards to effectively lower the annual fee, and in today's video, I want to discuss some things that I wish I knew years ago because I would have started my journey with American Express way before 2022. One of the first things I learned about American Express while looking for my second credit card was that they offered charge card products. And this was like way back in 2013 when I read on a website that it was a bad idea to open an American Express card as a beginner because they are charge card products, meaning that you don't get an assigned credit limit and that I would be required to pay off my balance in full every single month. Now, let me point out that I was a beginner at that time, and I also had the misconception that I needed to keep a balance on my credit card every single month in order to be able to build a good credit score. So the incorrect information that all Amex cards were charge cards just turned me off from American Express when I just needed to dig a little bit deeper and do my own research and not to take comments on a blog post as the absolute fact. You live and you learn, folks. You live and you learn. Additionally, since there wasn't a credit limit, I remember reading that if a balance was reported to the credit bureaus, it would automatically put my credit utilization at 100% because they'd see that I'm using my Amex cards and don't have any available credit left. I'm honestly not making this stuff up. There was definitely some bad information out there back in like 2013, and I don't think credit card YouTube was a thing back then, and if it was, I definitely wasn't watching. Now that I know better, I know that Amex has many credit card products and that there are other credit cards that aren't traditional credit cards such as the Amex Gold card, the Amex Platinum, and the Green card can act just like a credit card if the pay over time limit is activated. Admittedly, that might have been the case back in 2013, but I honestly didn't know about this until I received my Amex Gold card in the mail in 2022. And an important note here is that the pay over time limit does not show up on your credit report, so you still will get the credit utilization benefit, so keep that in mind. If it wasn't for the bad information out there, I probably would have applied for the Amex Blue Cash Everyday card as my second credit card because I didn't have a dedicated grocery store credit card, and the 2% cashback on gas was also very useful to me at that time. And yes, this has since been changed to a 3% cashback category. Nowadays, there are also other credit card options like the family of Hilton credit cards or the family of Delta credit cards, Marriott credit cards. You get the gist. There are a lot of Amex credit card options out there, and somehow I was misinformed that all of Amex cards were charge cards, and I believed that for far too long. And just to be clear, I don't advocate for carrying a balance on this channel. In fact, we'll talk about just why you may not want to carry a balance with American Express a little later on in this video. I now think of American Express as a sensitive credit card issuer that needs a bit of love and attention. Many of you know that I've had quite the difficult start in my relationship with American Express, and it's because I really didn't know how much attention and scrutiny Amex gives to its current card members. You see, American Express is really trying to safeguard itself from credit card churners because this demographic of people are more or less seen as parasitic. By the way, that is my own definition, and that is not coming from American Express. But what Amex really wants is a symbiotic relationship. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with those terms, in a parasitic relationship, there is one party in a relationship receiving benefits, which can possibly cause harm or even lead to the demise of the host. I guess that was a little bit grim, right? Anywhoosies, In a symbiotic relationship, both parties are mutually benefiting from one another. One party isn't being selfish by taking everything it can get and giving nothing in return. And I hate to admit it, but I have been more of a parasite to American Express. I have taken valuable welcome offers, and in return, I don't really reward them by continuing to use their credit cards, and that has led me to being given very low credit limits, lower targeted welcome offers, and even being recently placed in Amex Popup jail. And all of this is happening within less than 2 years in with my relationship with American Express, and I really can't blame them since I've opened a total of 4 credit cards that I barely use. And you know what? This will lead me directly into my next topic, which is Amex Pop-Up Jail. Amex Pop-Up Jail is very real. Basically, Amex Pop-Up Jail typically happens when you most likely meet the requirements to open up a new credit card with American Express. However, based on your activity with Amex, you don't qualify to receive the welcome offer, and you're notified of this unfortunate circumstance via a pop-up window that provides this explanation and gives you the opportunity to withdraw your application. But if you really want the card, you are allowed to continue without receiving the welcome offer. I don't know why anyone would ever choose to do that, but sometimes crap happens. I guess that this can also happen if you have received the welcome offer in the past for a specific card and you are no longer eligible to receive another welcome offer due to that once in a lifetime language. I've seen data points all over the place with this one, with some people getting to bypass this rule after not holding the card for a very long period of time. But even then, some of these people have received the bonus points to only have those bonus points deducted from their account several months later. The main reason for being placed into pop-up jail these days is due to one's velocity with opening new Amex cards in comparison with the amount of spend on your existing cards from American Express. Amex knows that they are still trying to recoup the costs of acquiring you as a new customer, and they also still need to make a profit from you, so it's within their best interest to restrict you from receiving any additional welcome offers until you've proven yourself to be a profitable customer. At least that's what makes sense in my mind, but again, data points on this still seem to vary and be all over the place. So if you have multiple credit cards from multiple credit card issuers, be aware of this, because it just might not make sense to get too many Amex cards, because chances are, if you're able to get better value in some of the spending categories from some of the competitor credit cards like the Capital One, Sabre One, or Chase Sapphire Preferred, that means that your Amex cards just may not get as much usage, and you run the risk of receiving a sentence to Amex Pop-Up Jail. But don't worry, those of us who are here love to welcome new people to the facilities, so don't be shy. Go on and get your pop-up jail sentence. We have cookies. I never knew that carrying a balance in a responsible way with a credit card issuer can raise red flags in their system and identify you as an irresponsible credit card user. And I was lucky enough to find out this information firsthand from American Express toward the middle of last year. On my Blue Business Plus credit card, I carried a balance that was approximately 30% of my credit limit, and I only did this because I was enjoying the benefit of having a 0% APR intro promotion for the first 12 months of opening that credit card. In my mind, showing that I was using no more than 30% of that credit limit and making an on-time monthly payment, the minimum monthly payment, would have shown Amex that I was the exemplary customer that they wanted. Seriously, I honestly thought that this was good behavior. Then I applied for a new credit card, which was the Hilton Honors Business credit card, and Amex denied my application because the balance on my Blue Business Plus credit card wasn't going down month after month, and it just remained at relatively the same level. So in order to be approved for a new credit card, I had to make a payment that would significantly lower the balance on my Blue Business Plus credit card. It didn't matter that I made every payment on time, and it didn't matter that I showed what is commonly known as responsible usage on my credit card by not exceeding a 30% utilization rate. What mattered was that Amex didn't like that I clearly wasn't making an effort to pay the balance in full. So in order to be approved, I decided to pay off the credit card to make sure that there were no issues the next time I submitted the credit card application for the Hilton Honors Business credit card, and this worked, and I was approved, thankfully. So 0% APR is great. However, don't think that Amex is completely happy when you take advantage of using a 0% APR. This is true for every credit card issuer, but I especially wish I knew this about American Express because out of all of the credit cards I've held, their changes have had the most drastic impact on my wallet. And Amex's changes have seemed to really focus on a membership-based approach. When you think about this, I want you to think about places like Costco, BJ's, and Sam's Club. With those wholesale retailers, you agree to pay a yearly membership fee in exchange for discounted prices on products and goods contained within the stores and also access to product-specific store coupons. And because of this, people willingly pay $20, $40, $50, or however much it costs per year to have access to those stores. Amex has taken their credit cards and slowly applied this coupon-like proposition that comes in the form of either monthly or quarterly or biannually statement credits, and only certain credits are awarded at its max value with a one-time use. For example, a global entry credit or a clear credit. But what has annoyed me the most was the expansion of the quarterly statement credits like I just received on my Hilton Honors business credit card that recently got a $240 Hilton credit with a max of $60 each quarter. If I want to take full advantage of this credit, then I have to stay at Hilton properties at least once each quarter. Now, there is a little trick that I haven't tried yet to also trigger this credit, but I'll report back once I have the details and once I can prove that it works. But beyond the statement credits, I wish I knew how aggressive Amex is with annual fee increases when they come. Thankfully, I only hold 2 Amex cards with annual fees, but my Hilton Honors business credit card annual fee increased by $100, and the Amex Gold card is currently rumored to be receiving a $75 annual fee increase. That's a total potential increase of $175 in annual fees in less than 2 years of holding my Amex credit cards. And that makes you have to go back to do the math and evaluate whether or not the credit card that you liked maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago is still worth keeping in your wallet if the annual fee is increased and at such a drastic level. For me, after this year, it just may not be worth it for me to keep the Hilton Honors business credit card in my wallet. However, I do feel a little bit stuck because I don't qualify to receive the welcome offer from the no annual fee Hilton Honors credit card. And at the same time, if the annual fee for the Amex Gold card increases to $325, then I can honestly say that I don't think I want to keep this card because it's just too expensive. And I have a strong feeling that Amex will introduce yet another statement credit. And if it's a new monthly or quarterly statement credit, then I'm definitely not going to be happy, especially if it is a Resi credit that's basically not useful for me. Another thing that's been pretty surprising to me is how often my Amex Gold card is not the best choice to use, and I know that a lot of you in the Points and Miles community don't mind this, but remember my earlier point about having a symbiotic relationship with American Express. With the stiff competition in the credit card game, it's become increasingly more difficult to justify using the Amex Gold card. Originally, I counted on using the Amex Gold card as my go-to grocery and dining card when I'm not earning 5% cash back on my other rotating calendar credit cards. However, Chase decided to change the Freedom Flex to offer a base of 3x on dining purchases as a reward category, and now with dining currently receiving the bonus multiplier for this quarter, I'm earning 7x on all of my dining purchases, which means that I am not using my Amex Gold card for those purchases. Earlier on in the year, the Freedom Flex offered a 5x back at grocery stores, and my other rotating rewards calendar card earned 5% cash back at restaurants. And that same credit card is about to earn 5% cash back at grocery stores during the upcoming quarter. This means that the Amex Gold is being overshadowed by my other credit cards in my wallet that have no annual fee. In addition to this, the competition has changed with entries like the no annual fee Built Rewards MasterCard, and since Capital One introduced the Venture X, the Saver One credit card has become even more valuable, and the Built MasterCard and the Saver One credit card both earn 3x back on restaurant purchases, and since they don't have an annual fee, it makes those credit cards stand out as the better choice for me to use. I expected to run into issues with the acceptance of American Express credit cards. However, I never expected there to be so much difficulty when attempting to use my Amex cards internationally in the Bahamas, which is right across the pond. I remember confidently pulling out my Amex Rose Gold at a restaurant that was off property to have the waiter come back a few moments later to ask, who's using the American Express credit card? And of course, I signaled that it was me, and I was very proud to say so, and he began to express his apologies to let me know that the restaurant unfortunately does not accept payments from American Express. Thankfully, I never travel with just one credit card, which is why you should get an extra wallet. Link in the description section. So I pulled out my Chase Sapphire Preferred to still be able to take advantage of the no foreign transaction fee benefit. And guess what? Visa credit cards are accepted without an issue. Now, the thing about this that makes me pretty upset is that I pay $250 per year to hold this darn card, and this is the only card which I've had the experience of being told, oh, I'm sorry, we don't accept that credit card. In fact, there was one time here in America when I wanted to use my card at a restaurant, and the waitress told me, oh, I'm sorry, you're using American Express. We've been having issues with processing payments with American Express all day. We can't guarantee that it'll go through. Do you have another credit card that you can use? Yes, I am paying $250 to be greeted with such issues, and it's very annoying. But it is what it is. This is just something you have to be prepared for and be willing to deal with the slight embarrassment. Every time it happens, it always feels like I'm using some sort of inferior product. Like, how dare you present an American Express card to us? Do you not know any better? Okay, please do not click off the video. I promise to never do that again. I'm calm. Anyway, guys, after 2 years of holding the gold card, I'm really at a crossroads. I don't know whether I should request a retention offer because they've become quite laughable in recent years, probably due to credit card YouTube promoting that trick. So yeah, I kind of blame us. Anyways, the Amex Gold Card changes are right around the corner, and if you'd like to see some of the problems plaguing the Gold Card, then be sure to watch this video next.